The MCU has had some less than amazing villains, but there are so many absolutely spectacular villains in the comics that I think would be great on the big screen. So today I decided to run down my top 10 picks for villains I want to see in the MCU. I did this with the heroes on Tuesday, so you can click the iCard to go see that video. They are kind of sorted from least to most one, but not really. And also, this video will contain spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Sorry about that. 10. Red Hulk. In the comics, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross becomes the villain, sometimes anti-hero, known as the Red Hulk. Ross has already been introduced into the movies. He was in The Incredible Hulk, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. And speaking of Endgame, why the flippity dang heck is Ross at Tony's funeral? I mean, I know he's an important person and all, but who the flip invited him? I really want Ross to become the Red Hulk. I mean, why would they bring him back if they didn't intend to turn him into the Red Hulk? 9. Electro. Electro was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but he was not done properly.
It's my birthday. Now it's time for me to light my candles.
And he needs a second chance. And that second chance needs to be against Tom Holland. Electro can control electricity, and he can use it to form whips and such. Also, he's mentally unstable, so that can make for a very intimidating villain. I think if they made him the main villain of a movie and then set him up for the Sinister Six, it would be very good and fun to watch. 8. Dr. Octopus and the Sinister Six. Once again, another villain who we have seen before, only this time he was done properly the first time, but I want to see him fight Tom. I think for Doc Ock, he should be introduced as a member of the Sinister Six and not as a villain on his own. He could have a cameo or be in a credit scene, but I don't want him as the villain until we get the Sinister Six. I think it would make for a good story to have him be the person in the shadows watching Spider-Man as he takes down all the villains. And then he forms the plan to get all the villains together into a team in order to take down Spidey. I think a good team would be Doc Ock, Vulture, Scorpion, Electro, Mysterio, and Sandman, if he's real. 7. The Enchantress. Amora is an Asgardian, and she is in love with Thor. She is a powerful sorcerer, and is especially gifted in making herself more attractive and can control the minds and emotions of men. Thor, however, was the only man that she was not able to woo, and this led her to evil in order to try to win over Thor in some other way. She hated his love for Earth, and wanted him to rule Asgard with her as his queen. For the movies, I think they would need to change her a bit. And she's supposed to work with the Executioner, but Hela already did that. 6. Green Goblin Harry Osborn. I really hope at some point we are introduced to Harry and he is able to become the Green Goblin. I love seeing Harry go from a friend to a villain, and I'm kind of assuming you've seen Spider-Man 1 through 3. If you haven't, you should go watch them. They're really good. The Green Goblin story is, in my opinion, one of the best stories in comics, and I really hope we get to see it play out in the MCU. 5. Norman Osborn as Iron Patriot. This one is a little bit more out there, but I really hope we get to see it. In the comics, Norman Osborn, after supposedly being rehabilitated and free of the Green Goblin, took Tony Stark's place as leader of national security. He then took an old Iron Man suit and painted it red, white, and blue and became the Iron Patriot. He then formed the Dark Avengers, a group of villains disguised as heroes. I think this would be a very interesting story to watch on the big screen, but it would need quite a bit of setup. First we need Norman Osborn, and then he needs to become the Green Goblin, and then he needs to kind of become better but still be evil. Then he needs to convince the world that he has changed. Then he needs to take over the Avengers. If we ever see this story play out, I doubt it will be any time soon, but I just really want to see it happen. I just thought, What if they set it up in a way so that Osborn could be the Thanos figure at some point in the future? Huh. 4. Hobgoblin. Roderick Kingsley found a bunch of the Green Goblin's old costume and weapons and became the Hobgoblin and tried to take over the underworld crime of New York. I don't really know what else to say about him. He would be cool. 3. Galactus. Galactus eats planets. We saw him in Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, but he was stupid. I want to see Big Purple Spaceman. No! Not that one. The other Big Purple Spaceman. Yeah, that guy. I have no idea how they would introduce Galactus or make him an interesting or compelling villain, but they crushed it with Thanos, so I'm betting they could do it with Galactus. 2. Immortus. Immortus is one of the versions of Kang the Conqueror, but he's also a different person. It's a kind of confusing story. Comics are weird. It would be really cool and fun to see him at some point. 1. Kang the Conqueror. I did a full video of how I think Kang should be the next big bad of the MCU. Full video by clicking the card. But in short, he travels through time, so there are many different angles by which you could approach this character. I think he should be trying to defeat the Avengers because he thinks that will save his time. But like I said, you can watch my full video by clicking the card. What do you think? Is there any other villains that you want that I didn't include? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you haven't already, go watch my video from Tuesday where I talk about the heroes that I want to see. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.